I'm Joey.
I'm Jeremy.
And this is Dead South Paranormal. Well, welcome to another episode of Dead South Paranormal. We're your hosts, Jeremy and Joey, and today we're going to be presenting Jeremy's side of the Lowcountry Regional EMS Council's Buildings Investigation.
That is a mouthful.
Yes. Whew.
So.
I'm surprised I didn't just fumble all over that.
But yeah, welcome back, everybody. This will be my portion of the evidence that I caught. But Joey, before we get into all that, let's tell them where we can find them, or where they can find us.
Well, of course, you can find us on Facebook at Dead South Paranormal, Instagram at Dead South Paranormal, YouTube at Dead South Paranormal SC, and of course, email us at deadsouthpodcast@gmail.com. Also, you can find us on all the popular podcast apps.
Yep, podcast platforms. We're on Radio Public, Pocket Cast, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcast, as long as they're still around. And if you don't have any of those, go check us out on YouTube. You can find our investigation videos as well as watch the podcast from there as well. All views, likes, listens, follows, subscribes, all that good stuff. All of it's appreciated, so thank you.
Thank you. Yes, very much so. And just remember, when we're doing the investigation videos / podcast, it's oftentimes going to be better to view them on YouTube or Spotify. You actually can see the video because we may be presenting video evidence and stuff like that. But on the other side to that, we know a lot of people are going to be listening to this in their car and stuff like that. So any likes, follows, all of that stuff, we greatly, greatly appreciate it, in comments as well.
100%.
So don't forget, if you have any questions, again, email us at deadsouthpodcast@gmail.com and look us up on all of our social media apps. So,
All right. So going back to that night, I searched and I scoured because I'll be honest with you, it seemed that when it came to some of the evidence, I know when we do this, you kind of got to take everything as a whole. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like what applies, it applies. And if it doesn't, it just kind of gets tossed into the ether with everything else. So between running like the spirit box and things of that nature, there was a lot of coincidences and then there were some things that kind of solidified some of our findings with that as well. But it seemed like you and your experiences for that night, like you just guys had hit the mother load.
Yeah, I think I got lucky. And, you know, I was going back and just trying to think about that. You know, I had Jen with me.
I thought about that too.
And because Jen, number one, she teaches in that building a lot too. I teach in that building.
Very true.
And so I have had previous exposure to these things, and that was the reason. That was the rationale we used to really go there. But Jen's wife also works there on a daily basis, 5 days a week. So I think when you look in terms of the paranormal and energies and not attachment in the demonic sense, but familiarity attachments. Yeah. I think the spirits were more comfortable with us because they knew us.
I would agree with that. I think that like you said, they became familiar with you, and so they were familiar with your presence and knew who you were, and so they kind of, like with anything else, people tend to flock to where they're known and with people that they associate with. So yeah, it makes sense. So I've got some audio clips here. Like I said, I scoured through a lot of the evidence that I collected, and this is what I was able to pull from it. There's a lot of stuff in here that, I'll be honest with you, I can't make heads or tails of it. It's unexplained, but there's also the fact that even though, because it is unexplained, I can't account for what is actually either making these noises or what they're saying. And some of them are not all of them are voices.
Yeah.
So with that being said, this first clip that I want you to play, Joey, this, as a matter of fact, 1, 2, 3, 4, the very first 4 clips all happened in the main training room, which is where we started our investigation, which is throughout the night. That was the place we spent the most time. And the reason I guess that is because we were getting a lot more activity through the Spirit Talker app.
Okay.
So, if you'd go ahead and play that first clip,
Okay.
and I'll let you listen. All right, pause it. All right, did you hear that?
Yeah, it was.
My name is Jeremy. Can you?
Sorry.
That's all right. Start back a little bit further back.
I'll give you a little, if you want to listen to it one more time.
Yeah, and I want to listen to that one more time.
Maybe a little bit louder. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, did it sound at all familiar to you? Because this was a discussion in our last episode when you were sharing your evidence. Remember, we were discussing how it sounded like those tables that were in that room, and remember that noise that you picked up when you were in there?
Yeah.
Well, that's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like, because we are in the opposite corner of where you guys performed your investigation, because you guys were over there by the window, that see-through window where the taps had been reported.
Mm-hmm.
So we were in the opposite corner. So with that being said, what you heard there, it sounds like it's almost on the other side of the room, because it is far away from the camera. But it sounds like something almost being dragged.
So the first thing that kind of popped in my head with it,
Mm-hmm.
But here's the problem. Right outside that room, they have one of those chewy ice
Yep,
makers.
the ice maker. Yep, I know exactly what you're talking
So
about.
it was making some noise.
That could have been it.
And then you had the vending machines and things like that.
Right.
But nobody was vending anything or
No.
anything like that. But y'all were up in the front side of that room. That's where you're talking about, right? Y'all
Actually, we were closer to the windows, like toward the road.
Okay.
Yeah, so we weren't up toward the door, the entrance of the room, but back toward the back.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the eerie familiarity
Mm-hmm.
of what that noise I had sounded like, in that it sounds like the same thing.
Yeah.
But again, I think that there was the distinct possibility it could have been that ice maker.
It very well could have been, and I didn't even think about that. Even though I was aware of the ice maker, I did not put those two and two together.
Because I kind of, when I went back on my video later, and I re-listened to it since we recorded, and that's when I was like, that may be that ice maker.
Yeah.
Now the other side to that is that could it be one of those tables like that squealy, screechy sound?
Yeah, it's kind of, it sounds very
linoleum.
heavy almost, and it's
like linoleum.
Yeah, like it's being dragged.
So the floor is 12 by 12 linoleum, or not linoleum, but
Tile.
tile. Yeah. Typical like hospital tile, I call it. But and all those tables either have rolling plastic rollers or those flexible footers on it, like they're school tables.
Yeah.
And I can't say it's not one of them. And if it's
Very
one
true.
of them, then something paranormal moved it.
Right.
But I can't discount or would not discredit somebody saying it was probably not an ice maker.
I agree.
Because, and that's why the video that I had of the commons area with the large camera, that ice maker made consistent sounds on that video. Like the same sound every 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, it drops ice every so often.
Yep. So maybe not.
Yeah,
You know.
And that's why I said that's why we have these discussions, for one, and number two, I can't account for everything.
Yeah.
I'm just pulling from what I've seen.
Yeah, and what you can remember.
Exactly.
And, and so, yeah, I think that it's interesting to talk about these things because, as you can see, we don't necessarily abide in our belief in what it is.
Yeah.
We like to talk about it, and we like to get the other one's opinion simply because it does help legitimize it.
Yeah, just because a noise was made that we can't account for, or we don't recall what could possibly have made that noise, does not mean we can't automatically chalk it up to paranormal. So there.
Yeah.
All right. So this next one also comes from the main training room. I'm going to be honest with you before you listen to it. I do hear a voice, but I can't understand it.
Okay. Well, I'm going to cut it up a little bit
Yeah.
before we get up there. So this thing's pretty sensitive. So
Yeah.
all right.
My name is Jeremy. Can you say my name back to me?
It said Jeremy.
I can't hear Jeremy.
I heard a J.
I heard something, but I can't be sure of what I heard. It's like a new set of eyes. That's what I have him here for.
My name is Jeremy. Can you say my name back to me?
I hear a J, but I can't be 100% that it is saying Jeremy.
Yeah, I would say a J. It's definitely something trying to form a
It's like it's
A
struggling.
word.
It's struggling.
It's funny. That was in that same room.
Yes.
The student that would sit by that little window
Yeah.
and ended up about, when I say halfway through class, the class I was in I teach is about 6 months long. So 3 months or so into that class, he gets up and moves towards the center in front of the room. And I go, what's the problem? I'm trying to figure out, what's the deal, dude? And he goes, I can't stand the tapping anymore on the window. Okay.
There you go.
You know what his name was?
What?
Jaron. Jaron.
It kind of does sound like Jaron. He kind of somewhere in the ballpark of a J name.
My name is Jeremy. Can you say my name back to me?
It says something. I can't. That's the thing. I can't make out what it's trying to say.
Yeah, but that is something we can definitely chalk up to being somebody's trying to form a.
Yeah, it's unexplained.
Yeah, I think definitely somebody's trying to do something there that's a little more specific.
Right.
Trying to grow that energy in. So.
All right. So this next one comes from the same room, the same main training room. Once again, I hear something, but I can't make heads or tails of what it is. So if you'd go ahead and play that and give me your thoughts.
Robert, are we still talking with you?
It's very small.
Yeah.
Very.
With you?
I hear something.
Robert, are we still talking with you?
hear something, but
it's almost like I wouldn't call it a voice. I'd call it like a grunt or a
Could be.
snort or something,
it may not even be vocal.
Yeah.
I mean, I could just hearing it now like this, I could almost put it to, it might be somebody.
Robert, are we still talking with you?
But it almost sounds, going back, it almost sounds like, again, something like dragging on the floor.
Yeah. Oh, I got another one coming up here in a minute, and you're definitely going to hear the dragon.
So that's what I almost feel like that is. Like, I don't believe it's a vocal thing.
Yeah.
I think it's some type of phenomenon
Yeah.
that's getting caught. So I would not
Yeah, it's just
rule
one of
that
those-
out.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where you can't say either or, and I kind of got that feeling about it too. But also, it was one of those things I don't have a definitive answer on where it came from.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
All right.
All right, so this next one also comes from that room. I don't have any real note about it here, so let's just go ahead and play it, and we'll see what we got.
Can you make a noise or move something to let us know that you're here?
Push.
It moves something. That is absolutely one of those tables.
Yeah, and see, you heard the spirit talker. It said push.
Yep.
Now, I don't know if I included it here or not, but there's going to be a second part to this.
All right.
And the reason being is because I knocked over my camera. So I had,
Jeremy's cameras take a beating, y'all.
yeah, or is it more or less Jeremy's wallet? But I had this on a much smaller tripod that was sitting in front of me. And so it was facing away from me like it is now. And so it said push. 2 seconds later, the camera on the tripod falls flat over. Not to mention, we hear definitely what sounds like something in the classroom, almost like that table, being dragged.
Yeah.
Okay, so you'll hear me in this next clip what my response to that was.
Can you knock back?
My apologies. Go ahead and pause it, Joey. I apologize. I must have not included it. Okay. But long story short, what I said was, did you know that I was going to knock that over? Yeah. Was it See, at that point, because I did not hear the drag in real time, I was curious because the spirit talker said push. I was curious, did it know I was going to push my camera over?
Yeah.
And so I just found that a little odd and a little bit, at the time, it was a little bit weird that my camera fell over. But going back and listening to it, it even seems more odd at this point. But definitely you can hear the drag in that audio if you want to play that again.
Yeah.
Or move something to let us know that you're here?
Push.
There's that table.
Yeah, that's without a doubt, that's one of those tables. I know that sound.
And the tables we're referring to are probably, about that tall, maybe a little bit shorter, and they got wheels on them, but they don't roll very well, or either they're locked up.
Yeah.
And they just, they just grind against the floor they're on.
Yeah. And all of the tables are like triangle shaped, and three of them make a circle type situation. So it's like they're classroom tables.
Yeah.
And even in the classroom, they would bang and beat together a little bit and stuff like that. But that's definitely the sound of somebody moving those tables around.
Yeah. So this next one that you've already heard a preview of, this next one actually came from Devin's office.
Okay.
So in this one, you're going to hear an unexplained knock. And the reason I say it's unexplained is because I caught it on camera, which is where the audio comes from. I also caught it on my digital recorder, But the weird thing about it is that in the footage, we don't respond to the knock. So it's like we caught it kind of like the now that we, but in our first investigation, you caught the now, you didn't hear it in real time, but the camera caught it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the situation we're dealing with here. So once again, this is a knock that is made it's very clear. You'll hear it. But it's like we didn't hear it there at the time, but the camera caught it, and now we're hearing it now, and it's just like, but nobody responded to the knock.
Huh.
Can you knock back?
There it was.
And that was loud.
That sounded like it was right in front of me.
Yeah, that sounded like it penetrated in the headphones.
Yeah. It almost sounded louder than what I did initially, because that initially when the clip starts, that's me knocking. Now, see, there was a little knock right before that, if you pay attention.
Yeah, let me go
And maybe it was just like, okay, I knocked.
Definitely hear it's like movement in those leather chairs. Which is such a pain in the butt.
Right.
But that's like,
and I think you guys had a similar instance.
yeah, in there we had a lot of, very muted knocks and stuff like that really, in my mind, probably was building.
Yeah.
Some of it. That's not building. That's intentional.
Yeah.
A knock. We had a lot of context clues in there, and since we've talked last, I've actually went and talked with both Megan and Devin and showed them the evidence to get some of their response to it.
Yeah.
Megan was absolutely floored
Really?
when it knew her name. And the whole stomach issue thing. And Devin kind of felt like she knew the whole, like she felt comforted that whatever was there knew about her situation.
Yeah.
And was not necessarily, I saved that other little piece at the end.
Yeah.
I didn't let them hear that yet because but they both, Megan was a little more wound up about it than Devin was.
Yeah.
Simply because the empathy component and stuff like that. But in her room, that's where Sydney felt the touch.
Right. That's correct.
And I think in that area, right in there, those spirits that are inhabiting that area, that central administrative area, are very benevolent overall.
Yeah. Almost like something protective.
Yeah. And that's what Devin actually emoted to me, was that she felt like they're just watching over her.
Well, that's a good thing.
So that was really, really kind of a cool instance there.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's what we saw, what I've got through most of the building until if you go back an episode and listen to my reveal, when at the end we got the witchy demonic scream and stuff like that, and then I was a witch response on the obelisk. And I think there's definitely different levels of spirits there. I don't think any of them's harmful. I think they just are what they are, and they're replicating what they probably were in real life.
Yeah.
But
another thing is that you'll see it in the full investigation video, my frustration, because I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I was getting frustrated. The main training room, which is where a majority of my EVPs came from, was probably our most active.
Yeah.
And as the night went on and we, kind of swapped spots throughout the night, it seems like I was getting less and less activity, and I was bummed out. I'm not gonna lie, and you'll see that in the video. I was showing some frustration because I was like, well, this is just great, because sometimes even though the spirit talker is responding, sometimes you just know that it's just an oddball response. Like it's fodder. It's like it just doesn't make any sense. So you can't really apply it to anything. Which I'm gonna let you play this next clip. This clip here actually came from the cemetery.
Okay.
I can't remember. Oh, okay. This was because I don't believe you actually went to the cemetery with us, but this was after we were completed with the building. We went to the cemetery, and at the site of the west-facing grave.
Okay.
I was trying to kind of do a little spirit talking session there, and I got a noise in the background. Once again, this is one of those things that is just hard to differentiate of actually what it is, but the fact that this is late night, possibly early morning at this time, so we are outside, so there are a lot of outdoor sounds. So I want you to listen to it and see what you get out of it, but it sounds like it's kind of off in the distance, so I don't put much stock into it, but I found it interesting nonetheless.
All right.
We only want a chance to tell your story.
It's kind of very faint, but it sounds like maybe somebody hollering off in the distance almost.
We only want a chance to tell your story.
Yeah, I can kind of hear like a...
It's very faint.
That's the one thing I hate about outside.
Yeah. You never know where it's coming from.
Because obviously you can hear there's traffic
Yeah.
behind you and all of that. And you really can't tell where anything comes from out there. It definitely sounds like something.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you what it is. Is it an anomaly? Is it anomalous? I don't know.
Yeah. Couldn't tell you. It was captured on film, so I just kind of threw it in there as well. So once again, that might be one of those things you make your mind up of. You decide. What do you think? Do you think, does it sound like anything to you? And so that's kind of, I just kind of leave it up to chance with that one about what you believe or not believe it is. But
so when y'all went out to the gravesite, I don't know. I just didn't have any interest in going out there. Wasn't freaked out or anything.
no.
So I kind of circled back and had a few minutes alone in the room, in the building.
Yeah.
I was the only person in the building. And just trying to get, I don't know, to see if something would do something.
Yeah, do something.
Just, stun me. You know what I mean? And I was in there for it probably wasn't 10 minutes maybe.
Yeah, if that.
And I really didn't have like this experience.
Yeah.
But I also didn't feel that it was almost the lack of feeling that was bothering me, that it was so calm in there at that point. And, compared to what Sydney and Jen and I had gotten, it was really, really different at that point. And so I was like, well, maybe, just maybe, is there a relationship to that graveyard and that building? And I think there absolutely is.
Yeah.
I think people being at the graveyard affected how the spirits in the building reacted, because it just got graveyard quiet in the building. It was because I was kind of even expecting a little bit more. And I actually went back and I sat in the little open office area.
Yeah.
Went and sat back in Devin's office and kind of in that hallway, just kind of hung out for a minute, just kind of leaned up against the wall, just listening, had my electronic voice recorder on, and asking a few questions and things like that, some follow-ups from all of that. Just really didn't get anything. I didn't have an Ovilus or anything on. I literally went in there with electronic voice recorder, a cell phone camera, and that was it.
Yeah.
But it seems to me that building, and this kind of goes back to maybe the, if you want to call it the physics of the paranormal.
Yeah.
The more people in the building, maybe, the more active they are.
I was thinking the same thing because it maybe they're thriving off that energy.
That either there's a number of spirits there that have to share energy, obviously.
Yeah.
And the more people that are actually in the building, the more activity you actually see.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking that afterwards. And I think that's probably, if I had to come to a conclusion, that would be what it would be, is that talking with Devin and talking with Megan later on, the incidents aren't isolated to time of day, like late in the evenings. They're not necessarily isolated to Devin working late and something happening. They happen all throughout the day.
Right.
And there's rarely people in there at night. I'm about the only instructor there that does anything at night there, and I don't teach that often there anymore. And everything they're finding or experiencing is happening during the day when there's 20, 30 people in that building.
Right.
So, yeah, that's a lot of people, and that's a lot more to explain away, but also that's a lot more energy to draw from as well.
Exactly.
So I'm wondering, as y'all moved out there, they moved that direction, because remember, I had some of the responses on the Ovilus that we go back and forth.
Yeah, energy kind of shifted.
Yeah, in that point. So I think that's probably what kind of caused the die out of activity in the building.
Right.
However, I think without question, there between mine and yours, there's enough evidence to say that there is something paranormal going on there.
Yeah. I got one more thing to show you.
Okay.
Yep. Got the this little clip I put together here. So now I'm going to draw your memory back to last episode when you brought up the picture that your wife took.
Okay.
Now, at the time when you brought it up last episode, I kind of quickly dismissed it.
Yeah. You told me it was something.
Shit.
Yeah.
No.
Trash.
I said burnt trash.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is my camera view. Just want to make sure they can see it on the screen.
Yep. Hold on.
Okay.
There we go.
All right. So this is my camera view of that room right there. You're about to hear what occurred, because I completely forgot about this.
Okay.
You're about to hear what occurred right before your wife took that picture.
Okay.
And knowing what I know now, it kind of freaked me out. So go ahead and click that.
Standing behind you.
Hello? Who's standing behind me? Can you tell me your name?
And of course, there comes Amanda, and she's taking that picture back toward me and Reed.
Yep.
So before she took that picture, it said standing behind you. Now I'm going to bring it up here in a second, so we can see. You're going to see that picture. I brought it up. As you can see there, this is the picture here.
All right, so that's the picture that I showed on the last episode.
That is correct. This is a
you and
very
Reed?
strange shot.
And I'm assuming that's Amanda there without zooming in.
No, that's Reed.
Okay, yeah, okay, I see it.
Yep. You
So
see,
is
that is Amanda.
That's Amanda right there.
And I'll actually zoom in. If you want to go ahead and click play, I'll zoom in here in a moment so we can get a better view of that. But you can see, just kind of looking at it here, there are some light anomalies throughout this whole picture.
Yeah.
So here in a moment, hopefully I didn't go too long, but I'll zoom in, and the picture will zoom in, and we'll take a closer look at it. But I didn't get like a weird vibe when all this was occurring in real time. But going back, there we go. There's the zoom in. So go ahead and pause that. So as you can see, this is a very weird shot. Now, of course, I don't know lights. I don't know refraction and all that other stuff. But if you look at the back of Reed's head, you see a light, which I'll be honest with you, it looks like the light from my camera light.
Yeah.
But a lot less brighter.
What is this? Is that like a mannequin or something?
It is, but here's the weird shot. Now I've got a little short.
And then that.
Yeah.
And
I've got a very short, because number one, Amanda didn't use flash in this. Not that I could tell from my camera anyway. But this is very weird, because as you can see in that window, that is all reflection that you're seeing in that window, because I've got a clip at the end of this clip that actually shows how empty that freaking room is. Because at first I was kind of blown away, because if you look at Reed and then you look at his reflection is pointing the same way that he is. And I'm like, that shouldn't be that way.
no. What? Stop. Time out.
Okay.
Reed's reflection is opposing his reflection. So here we should see Reed's face, right?
Well, see, that's what I was thinking. You don't see Reed's face. You see the back of Reed's head, just like his reflection is facing the same way that he's facing.
What's that big red stripe there, though?
Shit, that's a good point. I didn't even see that damn thing.
That thing's has it been sitting there the whole time?
We're gonna dive into this, Joey, because I just saw the damn red stripe.
All right, so
Oh my goodness.
could you see? Now I can't recall off of memory. Could you see through that window into that other room?
Yes, I can, and I'll prove it here in a moment.
Okay, I'm wondering if they can see back and it's not a one-way glass.
That I don't know.
I'm gonna go check that out this week.
But here's my thing. Because that window that you're seeing in that reflection.
No. Wait a minute. That window is directly across.
Exactly.
So
how is that window showing up in this picture when you see what I'm getting at? It's very confusing. Because now if she had went in there and took this with a flash,
yeah,
I could understand. You got light bouncing off all of the rooms and off the mirrors and the windows, and it makes for a weird light. But like I said, I'm not a photography expert. I know how to use a camera, but this right here just looks weird to me. So if you go ahead and click that play button, and we're going to break it down a little bit more, and we're going to find out here in just a few moments if that damn red stripe there was there, because I have no idea what the hell it is, and why I just now saw it, I don't know. That is, I think I might know what it is. We'll find out in just a second. It's an odd. Okay, so watch this.
I've missed talking.
You've missed talking. Well, we're here now.
Now look as it pans to the left.
You're more than welcome to talk with us.
That's what you're seeing. That is not a reflection of the room we're in. That is looking inside of that room.
Do you have something you'd like?
You see what I'm getting at? Now, looking at it a little bit closer, the only thing that I could think of what that red line there on the side is that what if that's the doorway to that room behind that window, and that's the light coming down from the hall? That's the only thing that I get that's flashing in my head right now.
It looks like somebody drew with a marker.
Like somebody just took a big paintbrush and just went straight down.
Yeah,
with
it doesn't look like.
It doesn't look like light.
No. Now, again, I'm no expert. What do y'all think?
Yeah,
that's the biggest thing is what do y'all think with that? I'm more freaked out that I'm not seeing Reed's face and I'm seeing the back of his head in the reflection.
And see, that's what's odd because I'm just kind of, I understand, don't get me wrong, I understand reflection, but why is it such a reflection? Wouldn't it be reflected? The only thing that I could come up with is that for whatever reason, the picture that she took reflected off of that window that we're seeing in the shot. It reflected back to the glass
and then back
the window and then back again. That's the only way I could figure that out.
I really wouldn't.
I wouldn't think that there was enough window to do that.
I don't know.
But for that, you can see the window's reflection in that window. I know it's confusing.
Now, I am not going to say by any stretch of imagination.
Nope, I'm not either.
That I am any type of engineer, anything like that. That color red bothers me from the simple fact that the only time you would get that through a light source is a prismatic reaction. So if you focused photons, light particles through a prism,
that's correct.
It separates it into the
primary
colors.
Right.
That's grade school, right?
Yeah.
Now, are we getting some type of prismatic reaction with reflections there? Could that be an explanation?
It could be.
I don't, I almost feel like another possible explanation is the hallway or tunnel effect. Like if you were on a computer and you duplicate your screen on your screen, you get that hallway effect.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So, and just like you said, now we see that white piece of PVC tube or whatever was in there.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a piece of rolled up document or something.
Yeah, something. And it was in the other picture when you looked into the room. It was very clear it was in there. And we see that, but we see this true reflection. And I'm just wondering if, that if it's not something similar to that we're getting the reflection of a reflection. And that's what she captured. Could be. Because of that, we got the infrared or red separation.
Could be.
Off of that. What I see here as well is that if you look at this, and if it is a reflection of a reflection, then that would maybe even possibly explain the smokiness in there.
Yeah, if you look around Reed, it almost looked like mainly around like Reed's head.
There's
it's like a halo.
It's almost like a haloed circle there.
Yep. And then there's one closer, like between me and Reed.
Yeah, kind of like
look there as well.
And they can't see my cursor, but
I got you.
But if you look at Reed's head, if you look at really closely, about 4 or 5 times the size of his head. There's a circle.
Yeah,
it's a halo effect.
Yeah, kind of like the halo around the moon you see from time to time.
So,
and then if you look between me and Reed,
there's another one.
Yep, there's another one. If you look at the top frame of that window there, you'll see. Yep, you got your cursor right on it. You'll see it. It's kind of between the two of us.
Yeah. And then you almost see like this larger aspect here.
Okay, so my question is this. If this is a reflection of a reflection, like what we just discussed, then how is it that my camera light shows up on the opposite side of Reed instead of, you should not be able to see that light.
All right, I'm going to go to...
Maybe I'm wrong.
I'm going to go to full screen for the folks.
Okay, I'm good with it. Go ahead.
So what he is really kind of talking about here is...
If you need to zoom in, I don't know if you can.
Yeah, hold on. I'm going to capture my cursor here. So y'all can see now my cursor on the screen.
Yeah, there we go.
This light
Yes.
looks eerily similar. It's this light,
Yes, that's what I would assume it was. Yes.
the one that's right by here. And if I look at it, if you look at it really, really close,
You can see LEDs in
you
it.
can see the LEDs in
Yes.
it. Here you can also see that definite circle around halo-ish effect around Reed's head. This second halo-ish circle kind of in between them. One here.
Yep, there's a big one there.
And then like this almost arch of light breaking here. And of course you see the shadows and things like that here.
Yeah.
This red strip is not in that window. That's not something in that window. That is
Yes.
a play of light of some sorts. But if we're seeing a reflection
Yes.
reflecting back to the window that is on this end,
And then back to the window you
back
see it
to
on.
the window there,
Correct. Then why is that light to the right of Reed's head, and it shouldn't be in the shot at all?
It shouldn't be.
In my opinion.
No.
That like I said, not an expert on this, but it should not show up in the shot at all. Because if she had been standing on the opposite side of the room, like back in the far corner, from where she took the picture, then in the reflection she would have caught the, I don't know lights. I don't know freaking lights. I'm just here to, but this is good because we're discussing the unexplainable.
yeah,
The unexplained and the mysterious and
something.
I don't know. It's documented, damn it.
Yeah.
I know that much. This, like I said, the first time you showed it to me, I didn't think anything of it until I went back and I watched the video of where we actually captured it at, and when we captured it, and the fact that the Spirit Talker app comes on and says, "I'm standing behind you," which adds a whole new perspective to this picture.
Yeah.
Now, you believe what you want to believe, but this is what I'm showing you.
Yeah.
This is what I have to show you. By the way, other than being zoomed in or zoomed out, this picture is not altered in any way, shape, or form. This was downloaded and put on the screen. That's all I've done to it. Zoom in and zoomed out. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. So,
Because that's even Amanda's hat there.
yes, that is her hat.
So,
But yeah, if you want to show that clip right there at the end, I want to kind of go back and see when when the camera pans into that room once more. Just kind of being curious about some things so we can kind of take notes of, because it's just weird that I was like, when I was looking at this picture and I said, why is his face not showing up in the reflection? Because it's odd, because you can see Amanda in there, but because of where I'm standing, actually you're going to have to go back a little bit, Joey, sorry. But you can actually see the dummy there in the window in this shot. Yeah. And there's a better shot of that light anomaly just to the right of Reed's head. And hell, if you look at it now, given I know it's a shot of me head on, but hell, you can't even see anything of me in the reflection.
no. And if you look at that light anomaly, it is, go back. If you go to that light anomaly,
Yeah.
it's in front of Reed's head. So it's
Yes.
there. And
Da-da-da. Roll that beautiful bean footage.
I don't even know at this point. I'm going to need somebody to weigh in on this.
I'm
y'all.
telling you, isn't that just weird? It's a weird shot all the way around.
I've missed talking.
You've missed talking. Well, we're here now.
See, there's a door in that
Yeah.
back corner where that light anomaly should be.
Yeah. And there's something red on the floor there.
There is red there, but it's not all the way up and down.
Yeah.
But that's what I was saying is maybe we're getting a shot
Could be.
through that door down further into the hallway. Maybe that's some sort of red light, because I think there were parts of there that maybe had like red emergency lights, or like when you turn them out, you could see red lights. I could be wrong.
Because you can see the blinds right there,
Yes.
from which would equate to, and I know y'all are probably about to throw up, but those blinds there, which is glass, little room, glass, another room.
Mm-hmm.
When those blinds are closed, we can see that in the previous picture.
So, which tells me right there that that window inside of that room has no effect on this picture because the blinds are closed.
Yep.
It's just weird.
I don't know.
I don't know. That's why I said. That's why I presented it here. I've never seen a shot like that before. And like the fact now I'm a little bit more bugged out because you said that the light anomaly is in front of Reed's head.
And
so why is it reflecting off the back of the kid's head? I don't know.
now, could it be the way it's pointed? It's actually pointed towards that window,
Okay.
and by the angle of refraction,
But see, it's not. Now, which window are you talking about? The
The
one
exterior-
behind Amanda?
yeah,
Okay.
the exterior window,
Or maybe to the side of
Yeah.
her. Yeah, I understand. what you're saying.
maybe.
Possibility. I don't know, but that's all I have. So I found it interesting nonetheless.
Yeah, right. That was definitely a little more than I would think.
Yeah.
It's interesting to note as you go back through this stuff, and yeah, a lot of people will say, "Oh, you're just digging for stuff." Well, you have to.
Yeah, I'm analyzing.
Yeah. If anybody knows more about
Yeah.
light anomalies or have similar pictures, feel free to send them to us at our social media, Dead South Podcast at gmail.com, and our email address.
Yep.
Again, y'all, be sure to go like and follow us at Dead South Paranormal on Facebook and Instagram.
Yep.
And YouTube at Dead South Paranormal SC. Also,
Absolutely.
go find us on your favorite podcast app. You should go in, just search Dead South Paranormal,
Yep.
and follow.
Yeah, we should be right there on the front page, Dead South Paranormal. Yeah, give us a like, a follow, a 5-star review. We appreciate it all.
Yeah.
Just let us let us know what you think of the show. If you have any suggestions on where we may be able to investigate, or any topics you like us to come on here and discuss, we'd be more than happy to do so. So
Absolutely, y'all. Well, that's going to wrap it up for another episode of Dead South Paranormal.
wrap it up.
Yes, sir. We thank you. We love you.
Absolutely.
And we will see you on the next one.
Y'all take care.